afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Girl Get Up podcast. I am your host, the Aquarian Chancellor, and this is the podcast where I share my stories. I'll bring my guests on, they share their stories, dig into a little bit of celebrity stories, all in hopes that inspires you, the listening audience, to discover, to go out and discover your infinite possibilities. Today is a guest episode. I have a guest today. Her name is Sav. Sav, please share with the audience who you are and what you do.
Hello, my name is Sav. I am a artist, singer, songwriter, and I am a creative entrepreneur, business owner, wife, mother. The list goes on and on.
Yes, yes. So we had an opportunity to chat behind the scenes just a little bit, and you shared your music with me. Before we get there, though, I want to walk the audience through a journey of how you became an artist. So, talk about that. What was your journey into music like as a youth? Did you know that you always wanted to sing?
Yes, so when I was a kid, I was always singing. I actually came up in a bar, like my upbringing was not a normal childhood, but one thing they always had karaoke nights, and I was probably like my oldest daughter's age, 5, 6 up there already singing, like with the microphone. And so that just followed me like just throughout life. Like I've just always loved music. And there was a time too, where I kind of like stopped for a while, like maybe like my teenage years, it just wasn't cool anymore. But I still would be in the shower and in my room, just still singing. Like it was just something that's always followed me. It's just since I was a kid, I just knew how much I love music, how much I just wanted to sing.
Yeah. What was that defining moment for you that gave you the indication, okay, this is going to be my career. This is going to be my business. What moment was that for you?
So what made me decide like, okay, this is gonna be my business was okay, well, let me kind of like backtrack a little bit. So I kind of started I had a really rough heartbreak. Like we all have them in our life, but that kind of like jump started me back into writing music. Um,
Okay.
so I was writing music and I would just share with my friends, and then my friends were like, "This is really good. Like you can do something with this." And fast forward, I had a girl, she put me onto a producer, which pretty much just led to me recording my first song. And then that led to me putting on my first album. And then in the process of all of that, I was like, this costs a lot of money. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, this take a lot of money. You invest so much into it. And I probably putting out my first Like Me album spent almost like 1 grand. And I was like, I can't keep doing this without seeing some kind of like money coming back to me. And so I just sat on it and I just felt like, okay, go buy that business. I bought my LLC, and just since there, I've turned it into a business.
Okay. It's so interesting that you say that because this is a platform of career. We do talk about career. And the reason why is because a lot of the skills that we learn in the workplace, they are the ones that actually catapult us on our journey of entrepreneurship. Have you had any type of careers that kind of did that for you, get learned or taught you skills such as customer service or how to budget? Talk about that.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
So I am full-time a medical assistant.
Okay.
So I graduated college back in 2021, but I started in 2020, like during COVID. And during that's when I kind of decided, when I first had my first medical assisting job, I was like, this is not for me, all honesty, right? So I have a passion for fitness as well. So I completely quit my job and I went to go work at the gym. So I was
Okay.
like pursuing both my passions because I was like, if I work at the gym, okay, I might have enough time to like work on my music and go to the studio. My schedule's more flexible. And so it kind of like went hand in hand. So my fitness journey, because I ended up becoming a personal trainer, I
Mhm.
learned the skills pretty much to run my own business because
Okay.
I was in control of my own schedule. I was building my clients, their programs. So it just put me in that like I'm the boss
Mhm.
mindset because I love that. I had full control over everything I was doing. The only thing that I had to do was report like to upper management, like, here's my progress, here's what my clients are doing, let them look over it and they'll just be like, you're great, like you're doing everything right. And so I just love that era of my life.
Yeah, as you know what that is. That's one of the things that I do talk about and I share a lot is because it takes a total different mindset shift to be from employee, from someone who takes orders and,
Yeah,
follows orders to stepping out onto that pathway of becoming a leader. Like it is a totally different mindset. So
yeah.
for you to already come out the gate like, okay, no, I'm already in that leadership mindset in that leadership role. Like that's phenomenal.
Yeah, and even stepping back, because I'm doing medical assisting again, even stepping back into like that career and having to take orders again, it's a little bit difficult. Even my manager has said, like, you're very headstrong. Like, she works with me, but she's even told me, like, you're gonna do what you want to do. But I do the right things. I mean it with the best intention.
Yeah. And that's the best place to start. That's the best place to start. But yes, it is a totally different mindset. But you know what? What I did learn is that it helps you be more proactive in the
Oh
workplace.
yeah, it for sure does. Because I can tell you, even with my music, everybody I've worked with has probably said like you're a little bit bossy, especially my fiance, because he records me like he records my vocals, and he gets so frustrated sometimes because he's like, "Who's the engineer?" Like,
Right.
I'm really telling you what to do.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. Okay, so let's talk about the music. Let's get into the music. How would you describe yourself or your sound to someone who has never heard you before?
That's a really good question. So, genre-wise, I don't really put myself into a category because I feel like
Okay.
I'm all over the place. Like I have some hip hop songs, I have a rock EP, and then like what I'm working on now is very like neo soul. So R&B, everything's kind of all over the place. So when it comes to a genre, that's difficult. But I've always been told growing up, even today, like everyone's always like, your voice, it sounds like Adele, you sound like Amy Winehouse. And those are two of my like people I grew up listening to, looking up to. So
Okay.
that's like the biggest compliment to me. So if I had to say, if you've never heard Sav, it definitely is more of a soulful,
Mhm.
uplifting sound.
Yes. I had I got a little bit of Emile LaRue in there too. I don't know if you've ever heard of her.
I have.
I can hear a little bit of Beyonce in there
Oh,
too. A little
don't say
bit.
Beyonce,
Yes.
girl. Yeah, that's gonna go to my head.
Oh, we can talk about it. So where do you get your inspiration from? Writing, the way you put together your lyrics, your sound. Where do you get your inspiration from?
I mean, everything honestly just comes from the soul. Like, I've had lyrics I feel like God has just put on my heart and just put in my mind, and I'm like, oh, write that down. Like, there's literally been one time I don't have this song out. It's actually on a project I'm working on that's gonna be coming out in the future. But there's one song on there that I was literally asleep, and I woke up out my sleep, and it's just like the lyrics were in my head, and I literally got up. It was like 3 in the morning, and I got up and I was just writing. So I don't know. I just feel like God will just lay it on my heart. It's
Mhm.
some songs, like my song Energy. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to that song,
We're
but
going to talk about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
that song, I was actually in the middle of a fast, like my first time fasting, and I was sitting like in a blank field, and I just felt like then it was a spiritual thing. Like I felt like God was just I'm just writing. I just feel like you hear those little whispers in your ear, and God just like write it down, write it down. Like He's my biggest cheerleader, like, yeah, that's the one. So that's
Yeah.
probably where most of my inspiration comes from, just, following my intuition, listening to God, and then, of course, just, life, whatever's happening in that moment. Like I said, what put me into doing music was I had that heartbreak. And so that gave me a lot of inspiration in a way because I was writing down, my feelings. So everything is just coming from the soul, circumstances in life, God, everything, just all tied together.
That is so powerful. Okay. So this is the part I wanted to talk about. Looking when you think back on your catalog, you have Sav, and I'm assuming that is your most current one. Is that the one before S&M?
Yes, so my dollar sign EP is going to be my EP that's currently out, my newest EP, and then
Okay.
S&M is my newest single that I just put out.
Okay, S&M is the single. Got it. Okay. So when you think back on your catalog, which song resonates with you the most?
Right now, that's a very good question. Right now, I have to be stuck in between two, maybe three songs of mine.
Okay.
Um, the very first song I ever put out, it's a single, it's called Mindful. And
Okay.
I might be in that era right now because I'm definitely in my soft girl era and just being mindful of like life and what's going on around me. Two would probably be energy.
Okay.
Because like I said, I'm in my soft girl era and energy. Like right now, I'm just in the flow of trusting God and everything that's just happening right now in my life. I'm just like, okay, I'm in the passenger seat. Like God, you got the wheel. Wherever we go, like I'm right here. You got
Okay.
it. But I'm also conflicted between my song "You Don't Know Me Anymore." That's
Okay.
on my Savvy P, because I'm also in like a rebranding stage of my life.
Right.
Like that song is like so powerful for me, the You Don't Know Me Anymore, because when I had that heartbreak, I
Hmm.
was a completely different person. Like if you look back, I don't look the same. Like I ended up cutting all my hair off at one point. I'm covered in tattoos now, and back then I was just like this innocent, like looking little girl. And like right now I'm in this rebranding stage of my life, like really stepping into my purpose, starting to use my voice because I took a break for about a year and a half. So now I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's get back into the groove of things.
It's go time. Okay. So can I share my favorites with you?
Yes, I would love to hear them.
Okay. Okay. I'm excited. I'm waiting for this moment right here. Okay. So energy and new era, like those are my anthems now. Like I've been playing them all morning.
That is so funny because
New
I
era,
checked my
like that, girl. What was you going through right there? That right there is a banger. But I'm sorry. Go ahead. Share with us about that.
new era. So that's when I actually decided, like, okay, I'm gonna do music for real, right? And so new era for me was like it's a new era. Like I'm closing out the old chapter of my life and I'm stepping into this new era. And it was like a manifestation song for me too. Cause I'm like, okay, this is what I want in this new chapter. Like welcome in the love in abundance. And it's also a testimony because you probably heard the switch up, right? And it talks about and like when there's a beat switch up, it's telling my testimony. Like these are the things I went through when I was a teenager. And now I'm stepping into womanhood. Like I'm still a young woman, but this is what I went through when I was like an adolescent, which is so deep and powerful too in itself because it's a great song. If you haven't heard it, you definitely need to go listen to New Era, guys.
So, because you touched on so many things in that song, and you spoke about the abandonment issues and not being able to talk to your mom or feeling like that as a teenager. That's what I got from it.
Yes.
And then also, what I also picked up on from the song was not listening to the negative feedback. Like, this is it. This is where I'm going, and I'm unapologetic about it. Like, this is my new era. And so new era kind of gave me that Beyonce feel a little bit, but it was so kick butt. Like I love that song. But
Thank
it was a
you.
toss up for me between energy because I love energy too. Like, so I was listening to those two songs like the whole morning. I also liked an earlier song that you did. It was a collaboration, and I want to say the name of that song. I'm not a kid anymore, or something like
Oh,
that.
yes. I actually did
I
that
like that
feature.
song.
Yes, I totally forgot about this song. So I actually did that feature while I was doing a fast as well. And I was
I'm just a kid.
yes. So
Okay, thank you. I apologize.
Sad Breed, he is the artist, like that is actually his song. I met
Okay.
him through the studio, Ascension Studios, And I didn't know what I was getting myself into because I don't know if you went and checked out his catalog, but he is a completely different artist than I am.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh my God. I remember driving to the studio that day. I was like, what am I getting myself into? Like, I don't know what a song, like, he didn't show me anything. He didn't show me what the song was about. And da da da. He just kind of went on past conversations him and I have had. And so I got to the studio and he showed me, he's like, all right, this is what I recorded. And I heard it and I'm like, okay, I can work with this. Cause he was talking about like his story with his mom. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be like an inner like child like healing song for me. And so that song talks about like my testimony, stepping again into womanhood and being like, I'm not a kid anymore because I'm actually an only child. And so
Okay.
I feel like some of the situations I've gone through with my family, I'm also one of the oldest of
Okay.
all my like grandmother's grandkids. Like I'm also one of the oldest. So I always feel like people are like, how do I say this? Not that they're treating me like a baby, but they're trying to keep me stuck in the no, don't grow up, you know? And so for me, that song is just like, I'm not a kid anymore. Like, you can't treat me this way. Like, I'm becoming my own person. So, yeah, I totally forgot about that song because that is a feature. But I love that song. I remember when I recorded it, I went home and I was showing everybody. I was like, I just love this song.
Yeah. I love that song too, because it was like you said, but it was so raw. It
Yes.
was so raw. And I think that's like when we talk about branding and connecting with our audience and showing emotion, like that song would be the epitome of what that would mean.
Yes, and I remember even when we recorded that song and everything was all said and done, even he loved the song so much and he was like, "This is probably one of my most positive songs." And I was like, "Good," because that is what
Good.
I strive for in my music. Like I want everything like yeah, even if I'm telling you a sad story,
Mhm.
because my whole thing is like I'm trying to overcome this. I'm not trying to be stuck here in this sadness. Like let me write it down, get it on paper and get it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved it. So thank you for sharing your music with me. I appreciate it. I'm going to be sharing it, especially Energy and New Era. Like I loved I You Don't Know Me Anymore. I like that one too, but those were the ones that like kind of like hit me. I was like, "Oh, I love these." So thank you
Thank
for sharing your music with me. I really appreciate it. Life, let's talk about life beyond the microphone a little bit because we know that you're balancing being a mom, also being an
you. Yeah.
entrepreneur. How do you be outside of the music? How do you exercise that work-life balance?
I could not balance it without a planner.
Okay.
Oh, and in all honesty, like I am obsessed with my planner. I gotta write everything down. So that's how I really balance it, is I'm be able to plan it out and see it on paper. But ultimately, I have so much help from my fiance. I don't know what I would do without him. He makes my life so much easier. Um, that and just finding the rhythm of things, coming up with the routine, that's what makes it the easiest for me. Currently, I'm working part-time and I have found out that wow, this is so easy being able to balance everything, my business, picking up my daughter from school, making dinner at home, working on my business. Like it's a routine. I feel like the busy mom life is definitely real. Like
Mhm.
as a mom, there's no slowing down. Like I can't stop.
Yes.
Like I'll
Yeah.
pray for a break and then God will give me a little one, but then it's like, all right, back to it.
Yes, you definitely have to own your time because it's even with my son, the he requires us, even at his big old age, he still requires a lot of my attention.
Oh
And it's
yeah.
sometimes that I want to do work stuff or business stuff, and I have to remind myself, okay, he's the priority. He's the
Yes.
priority. So, yes, aligning your steps, aligning your day. I know if I've created a planner of my own that has helped me. I know behind the scenes, I don't know if you want to talk about this or not. I know you shared that you have created one as well. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, I would love to talk about that. So actually, yesterday I just got my proof copy printed, so that
Okay.
way it can come to my doorstep first. I can proofread it and use it for myself, but I would love for, to share it with everybody once it's done. I created a faith-based planner. So what it is, it's like a planner and a journal, in one, because I look for ways to connect with God like every day, even if it's just a simple drive in the car, listening to my worship music, talking to God on the way home from work. Like I try my best to include God in every way, like everything I do in my life. And
Mm.
so it just dawned on me. It's like, I love my planner so much. I could not live without my planner. I could not live without God. So I found a way to combine them together. So like there's a section where I'm going to be able to do like my daily gratitude. And then there's an area where I can do just journaling. And if I need to like have a conversation with God, I can have it there in my planner. I would just wanted to include God in my everyday plans. And I was like,
Yeah.
what better way to do that than a planner?
Yeah.
So I'm super, super excited about that. I'm really hoping that once I get this proof copy, like it's good to go and I can have it published for everybody else to buy one of their own by the beginning of the year.
All right. Well, we're going to do our due diligence and include everything in the show notes. So when it comes that time, I'm going to reach back out to you.
Yes,
Mm.
ma'am.
Right. What does staying true to yourself mean when you're trying to grow to and reach new audiences? We know that the music scene is all about new ways to stay relevant. Some of it could be considered gimmicky, but and here, and even in your music, you talked about authenticity. So, what are some ways that you try to expand and reach new listeners but stay true to yourself?
That is a really good question because that's pretty much what I'm pretty going through right now and trying to figure out myself. Because one of the reasons why I had stopped doing music was like when I took that year and a half break recently. I felt like I was getting too caught up into the music. Like I was like, okay, I'm not being myself. And that's not what I was called to do. I was not called to fit everybody else's agenda. So I had to step back because I started to realize like I'm caring more about my image and how I'm coming off to others than being true to myself. And I'm rushing the process. Like my dollar sign EP, I kind of rushed it and I put it out.
Uh-huh.
And all honesty, like now when I listen to it, I'm like, this could have sounded so much better if I would have just taken my time. But
Mhm.
I mean, it is what it is. It still sounds great.
It's still good. Yeah.
But I just know, like me, like ugh, I could have done so much better if I would have just taken my time instead of just trying to, okay, I need something out right now for everybody to see and hear.
Okay. So
Taking my time.
I'm sorry, can I ask a good question? Because I
Yeah.
just wanted to clarify my understanding when you're following. So do you saying that, or are you rather saying that in order to keep music out there, that's how you felt like you were trying to fit in? What did that look like for you?
Well, when I was putting out that EP has three music videos to it. And I realized too, like I was getting more caught up, like how do I look? Like physically, I
Okay.
was making sure I was posting on Instagram, making sure I had all these new outfits. I mean, I don't need a new outfit for every single video, but that's how I was, carrying myself. Like I need to look put together. I need to have my makeup done. I need to have my hair done. And then I just felt like God was pulling me back out of
Mhm.
that. And he was like, it doesn't matter what you have, it doesn't matter how you look. I didn't call you to do this. You need to just be yourself. Like, who cares if you don't have any makeup on today and you go to like a show? Oh well, like you're still sap. And so I took a year and a half off too, and I just kind of like, am I writing from the heart? Am I showing up as my true self? And so for me, that's how I feel like in this era that I'm in right now, this new era, that I'm just trying my best to show up unapologetically as myself. Um, in the rebranding that I'm in, I've started to use like TikTok, and I know that can be super gimmicky because I used to never ever like get on TikTok until this year, honestly. And so I'm following trends, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, it's trending, but I'm not gonna do that. Like I need to stay true to who
Yes.
I am. Does that fit my brand? I don't think so. Like I feel like just in time, my time will come. And that's
Yeah,
one thing I've learned over this last year or so, like my time will come when my time comes.
yeah. I appreciate you sharing that. And I wanted to clarify that because for someone, I'm not an artist, but I put out content, and even in the podcasting industry, in any industry where you are in some form of entertainment, you can definitely lose yourself because it's the competition is so thick, and it seems like everybody wants the same thing. But you hit it right on the head. Like, you don't have to be like everyone else. It's okay to stand out and it's okay to be different. But I asked specifically that question because sometimes people don't know when they're stepping outside of themselves. Does that make sense?
Yes, and how I started to catch on to okay, like I'm getting too far off was I stopped reading my Bible every day. That was
Okay.
already like one red flag. And then nothing was just working out for me. Like nothing was going my way. Like I said with the EP, I dropped it super fast, but it still came out like 3 weeks later than the original drop date. And I remember I was getting so frustrated, like why is nothing going my way? Why is nothing going my way? My relationship with my fiance, like at this time, me and him actually ended up taking a month break from each other because like it was just too much bickering. We couldn't get along. Like nothing was going my way. And so that's when I decided, like, hey, I need to step back, like realign my priorities. Like, what is important to me? Like, is music that important to me that I'm gonna lose myself? And I was like, no, it's not. Like nothing is. So I need to draw back and recenter and then reapproach this the correct way.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. What has been your greatest challenge and how did you overcome?
Oh, wow. I've had so many challenges in my life. Like the list could go on and on. Um, right now, when I think about my greatest challenge, the first thing that's coming to my mind was I was actually a high school dropout, but I still graduated from high school. I graduated from high school through this place. It was called Dropout Prevention. So the school district I was in, they had a center pretty much where if you were going to drop out of school, like they did everything they could to help you still graduate with your high school diploma instead of going off and getting your GED.
Right.
And just during that time of my life, that's when I was going through the things I was going through with my family. I didn't have a relationship with my mom. I was actually staying in my car. Like I was still 17. I hadn't turned 18 yet. And I just
Mhm.
remember going to school and I told my English teacher, me and her, she was like one of the greatest impacts on my life because
Mhm.
she is the one, sorry, my baby's in the background, right?
Don't apologize. That's okay.
But she was the one who told me like don't ever stop writing, like don't ever stop writing. And I had wrote a paper. I have a tattoo right here on my arm. I don't know if you can see it, but it says resilience. And that was
Yeah.
one of my like I started getting tattoos when I was way too young, but probably like my third tattoo was right before I graduated high school. I told her I'm gonna get this tattoo for you because I wrote a paper on my Angelou and it was called about resilience. You get to write about the same question you just asked me, what is one of the biggest things you've overcome? And so I told her like everything I was going through. Like right now I'm homeless. Right now I don't have anybody on my side and I'm trying to graduate high school. Like I'm just trying to graduate high school. And I was like, everything I'm going through is out of my hands because I'm not 18 yet. So I can't go out there and just do what I want to do. And so when I wrote that paper, she was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were going through any of this. And you come to school every day and you just do your work and you leave. She's like, but I didn't know what you were going through any of this. And so I remember she helped me get like SNAP benefits. She tried to align me up with some housing, but I actually had something end up working out for me where I was able to go on my uncle's property and I lived in like a little RV for a little bit. And then she helped me get like clothes and just she actually helped me go to college. She's the one who helped me be able to go to college because she wrote me a letter stating like I was homeless in high school. She was like, I don't know if you're going to go to college, but just hold on to this if you ever decide to, because this will help you with your FAFSA. And it
Yeah.
did. So when I think about like my greatest challenge, how I overcame, like that's the first thing that came to my head because that was probably the first time in my life where I used my writing as my voice and it opened the doors. Like
Yeah.
all I had to do was speak up because I was so scared in high school of speaking up about what was going on in my house. And there were younger children there, and I was like, I don't want them to be impacted by this. So I have to be pretty much, because they were my cousins, but I was like, I need to be the big sister for them, and I need to, hold it down. And that was
Yeah.
the best way I could until, I could go out on my own and start, life for myself.
Yes. We have so many things in common. I loved it. Thank you for sharing that. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? If you want to share, this is always an optional question.
Oh my gosh, you are so funny. Like the questions you're asking me today, they take me back to a time in my life when I was already asked that question. But I'm gonna give you the same answer that I told somebody, which was
Okay.
probably about 3 years ago when he asked me this. He's like, "Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?" And I told him I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be out of here. I'm gonna be on tour. You know, I'm gonna be up and out of here. I'm gonna be doing my music. Like I'm gonna be gone." But this is when I actually got interviewed for the gym. He had
Okay.
asked me, he was like, "Where do you see yourself a year from now? And where do you see yourself 5 years from now?" And I remember in that interview, I told him, like, if I'm still at this job a year from now, then I'll be a personal trainer, which did end up happening. And then he asked me the 5 year question. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be out of here. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be at the gym no more. I'm gonna be on tour. Like, I'm gonna be out there with the Beyonce.
That's right. That's
So for
right.
me, yeah, that is probably like my 5 year goal is I would love to be really full time doing what I have a business to do, like pursuing my dreams. If not doing my music, then, out there in that industry, whether it's because I have digital products too. So whether that's putting out digital products, writing books, I just want to be, doing full time what I want to do.
Yes. Having the freedom to do it
Yes.
too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So before I ask you your final question, please share with the audience where they can find more about Seth, where they can access your music, if you have any videos, or if you have any upcoming initiatives.
So all of my social media handles are going to be at $AV. That's at DOLLARSIGNAV because you can't put Sav with the dollar sign as your Instagram name. So it's $ AV. And then if you go to the link in my bio, you'll see my link tree. So if you just go to my link tree, everything is on my link tree. You can go see my music videos. You can see my storefront from there, links to Apple Music, link to Spotify. Everything is on my link tree.
Well, we're going to include everything in the show notes so the listeners can get to know more about you and listen to your music. They can determine what their favorite song is. I know mine. I know. So, on the outro, I always ask everyone, this is a platform of inspiring people to believe in their infinite possibilities. Please share your motivational words of wisdom that can help the listeners along their journey of discovering their infinite possibilities.
So my best advice is no matter where you are right now in your journey, keep God first. Because I learned that not the hard way, but not the easy way.
Yeah.
But keep God first in everything that you do and to use your voice, speak up for yourself, don't be scared of the unknown. Stepping into the unknown has got me to where I am today. And just by me holding back from the unknown, I've furthered how do I say this? Not furthered, but I've held myself back from going further by sitting back and questioning and is this for me? Like what if? Like just go for it. Don't even think about it. Just have faith in God and just know that you're gonna go far.
Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you for being here. Podcast. You hang on. I'm going to send you off the right way. But for everyone else, we will see you next episode. Take care, everyone.